next then?
Let's go back to the thing so I remember what we're talking about. Dreamhaven.
Yes, Dreamhaven.
That's next on the list.
So, the Mike and Amy Morhaime vehicle that is, it's not just them, but I guess they founded it. Dreamhaven is seemingly going from strength to strength because they're now up to 5 studios, though 3 are externals.
Yes.
So this is quite big, actually. So I wish there was some way. You could probably find some of Morheime's, at least how many shares he owned. Maybe if you looked at SEC filings. Not 100% sure. But I bring that up just to say that Mike Morhaime would have had a lot of Activision Blizzard stock.
Yes.
Whenever Bungie left, I think it fell to not an all-time, but like a recent low of $43. Now it's at like 96. There's a lot of money in the Morheimes. And I'm not one of those, this person has money or kill them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people like that. No, it's like Mike co-founded something. He had ownership in that thing, and then it turned out that selling little bits of ownership in that, which is what we call stocks, ended up being, the stocks is worth a lot because the business he made that made a bunch of, good products and value for people, turned out it was worth a bunch. But what he's been able to do with that massive amount of capital is set up Dreamhaven, set up 2 internal studios, and then make big investments, we would assume, in Lightforge, in One More Game, and in Raidbase. Now, what's fun is that Lightforge and One More Game are ex-Blizzard.
I believe there's some ex-Blizzard at Raidbase as well.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, they haven't said. I don't think they say specifically who. Like, none of the people in their listed, the crew section is notably ex-Blizzard, but they do say they've got lots of people from all over the place. It might have just been small stints or stuff, but it's like Riot, Blizzard, Bungie, Microsoft, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So basically everyone here has ties to Blizzard.
Basically.
Some significantly more than others.
And I very much wouldn't be surprised if there was more on the way here. There's a few times this week I've went on Twitter and it's like, oh, Whammo's left Blizzard.
Oh yeah,
that other guy's left Blizzard. There was somebody, I think their job title was Principal 2, and they were a lead character artist on Overwatch 2. They've left Blizzard. And I get that there's a normal amount of turnover in big companies. It's like if you have whatever percentage churn rate and you have however many thousand of employees, a lot of motherfuckers are going to be leaving. But it does seem like it's a bunch of people with pretty friggin' notable titles.
Yeah, it's
Bliss.
Definitely something you could imagine internally. They're really, really worried.
Yeah. Like they lost, an example, Laura Loston. She, Burdens of Shauhau? She did that. I mean, it wasn't just her, but that art style, that was her. Lords of War, all those things. Those, big, beautiful things like that. Harbingers. Well, the artist who kicked that off is gone.
Yeah,
she's either at Moonshot or Secret Door. I think Moonshot.
Yeah, that's really worrying for if they're trying to think how do we spin up the next expansion marketing stuff.
Yeah, Glenn Rain.
Yeah,
massive, very prolific World of Warcraft artist.
Gone. Lightforge.
So, man, there's a lot of people leaving Blizzard. And it's really interesting because it's being mirrored a bit in the community. I have never heard so much about Final Fantasy XIV as I have in the last, I guess the last few weeks, but really the last week and a bit. It's almost as if ever since like that, the Ian interview didn't go that well and a bunch of, the WoW crowd are feeling a bit down on themselves. And then FanFest happens.
Yep.
And bam. So it's kind of like it's that thing where, like, from what we both understand, morale ain't great.
No, it's like it would be difficult. It would be difficult to be inside Blizzard thinking, oh, I'll work my way up to get promotions, or I'm kind of happy here, etc., etc. And then you look like, why are all my leaders going away?
Yeah.
What? Hello, it's like someone stopping Glenn on the way. I'd be like, I'm like 2 levels below you as an art person. Why are you leaving? I might need to know this. And he's just like, sorry, see you later.
Yeah, it's rough, and I don't really know how Blizzard can fix it up that much. I mean, I've certainly heard things and stuff, so maybe I've got some ideas, but I think it would probably take Jason Schreier blowing the top off something in an official way before more discussions there could happen. I don't know if Jason's working on anything for Blizzard, but
I don't think so.
It was even like the video we did in the news channel. It wasn't a Blizzard person, but there was somebody in sort of the big family.
Yeah.
And we even learned things there. We were a bit like, woo, what's going on? Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just, I have heard a bit in the grapevine that Blizzard's trying to fix some of this shit. It's just, how much talent will they bleed before they do fix it?
Yeah, it's one of those things where they unless they do something completely insane, just stop and go, right, everyone's getting 5 times their wages. Or, double to be, well, what we understand, double to be on par with Riot. I mean, that's sort of old information, but unless they literally do something outrageous, they're not going to solve this overnight. This is going to be sorry, we need to draw committees together to solve all of our systematic problems.
Well, that's your problem. Culture, it's very hard to change culture after it's formed. And that's why the most important thing that founders can do when they're starting companies is who do they hire? What does that mean for the company culture? And how do they preserve and scale that culture? And it just seems like there's a bunch of stuff at Blizz that's kind of maladapted for the modern way of doing things. Perhaps that is why we are seeing the ex-head honcho of Blizzard go and snipe a lot of Blizzard staff. It seems like this is literally sniping.
Yeah,
in so many I mean, yeah, fuck it, it's sniping. You have your old boss sniping the pick of the litter. Yeah. There's obviously, just to step away and stop the whole, we're going to be very professional and analytical about the news. It's like the head honcho pissed off with a bunch of money, founded a direct competitor, and sniped the top talent. I don't know. I don't think it's conspiratorial at all to say that there's something going on. I think you'd have to be pretty thick to see all of these things happen and not be able to, and still sort of do the whole corporate simp thing.
Yeah.
So
also, I haven't actually looked at it, and I'm not going to distract myself by looking it up now. But I imagine if you look at when Morhaime announced he was leaving Blizzard, and when Dreamhaven was founded or officially announced, I imagine that is very close to a nice round non-compete kind of number.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, it's brutal, honestly.
Yeah. In terms of the games that these guys are making, there's Lightforge, we've covered them. They're basically seemingly making kind of like sort of metaverse-ish RPG stuff for people who like D&D 5th edition. That's roughly what I can piece together from their site.
I believe they were talking about the metaverse stuff. Was it they were the ones who were talking about Minecraft and Roblox?
Yeah.
But with a little bit more, I think it was something like Minecraft, Roblox content creation, but for the D&D 5th edition
That's
kind of people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that is, I mean, if you had to pick something that matched all of the boxes for an investor to throw money at you, that's it.
Yeah.
It's imagine Critical Role and Minecraft. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, big money. I mean, Hightail, just, up the road in Derry, they got acquired by Riot. Those boys must have a lot of beans now.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine.
I would congrats to them, of course.
Funding half of fucking Derry,
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you can see, though, how that's the combo of, fun fantasy world, but also player-created content. It's what we said last time. It's not about building a game. It's about building a platform, if you really want that super serious investment. Then Raid Base. They might be making something more up our alley. They say they're crafting an open-world sandbox PvPvE game in an original IP, ex-Riot, ex-Blizz, ex-Bungie.
Yeah, and there's the art from their site. I'm imagining that is sort of concept-y for the game, which is very kind of... Look, we've got fantasy, we've got a little bit of sci-fi exploratory design, we've got that kind of vibe, which immediately is go for it, by all means.
Yeah, absolutely.
By all means.
It's that thing, even if Blizzard is going to have these massive struggles, what you can see, though, is a tight-knit family was kind of created there with a bunch of people. And now a lot of those people are being unleashed to do cool shit because it turns out the Morheimes have an absolute fuckload of money. And they, unlike maybe a Bobby Kotick.
Yeah.
Because I think Bobby actually did like video games, but, a long time ago in the arcade. Which for our big Bobby video that we still haven't got around to making yet. Whoops.
He likes video games enough, but he's never been like passionate about them.
Yeah.
Business has been his passion historically.
Yes.
And that's why he does businessman things.
I don't think Bobby Kotick is going to appear at the Home Story Cup and buy everyone pizza like Mike Morhaime did.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
He would show up at the Home Story Cup selling pizza. Because that is actually surprisingly close to one event from his youth.
Oh yes.
Yeah. There was, well, this is literally a spoiler for a video, but who knows when it'll be made. But he went when he was, I think he was in high school. He used money that he saved up from selling different things here and there to rent out a nightclub for his peers to party in. And then he was like, he just brought an ice cream cart into the thing and started selling ice cream to them while they were sitting partying and dancing in the 80s. You're like, Jesus, Bobby, you're a genius.
It's such a pity that some of that stuff went the way that it did, because the more that I've looked at that script we've got for the Bobby video, it's like, I like this guy's hustle.
Oh, it's honestly fantastic.
It's a great story.
It is. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I think it's the sort of thing, Bobby's hustle, that is in some ways you're like, oh, look at him go. It's just not really in alignment with what... Alex Beam, as it turns out. There we go. I am bad at the speak.
Yep.
But it's that sort of thing. It's unfortunate that Bobby's incentives go directly against a lot of ours. But he certainly has an interesting story of the compulsive capitalist himself.
Yeah, it's one of the things I guess what you're probably going to go into with that was when you're talking about, well, you didn't say eat the rich, but someone did, about, people being like, oh, well, money, fucking
no, I said
else.
that I was not an eat the rich person.
No, not an eat the rich person, but I think that's, like, Mike is probably one of the examples where if you had to give, like, a reason for what money's supposed to do, like an actual use of it that makes sense, this is it. It's, I've loads of money. Does anyone want to make me slightly more money, but do cool shit all the time? You're like,
yeah,
that's exactly what he was doing in Blizzard.
I also wouldn't be surprised. It's like there's different cadres of rich people. There's rich people where you really do just get the feeling that it is all about, like, the cars and the houses and all that stupid bullshit. But you do kind of get rich people where it seems like, they just got really successful doing stuff, and they are passionate about things, and that's where they're putting their resources. I think Morhaime is basically the real deal when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, as opposed to, and this is the thing I just remembered about Bobby, it's not like some sort of traumatic compulsion or something, but he said from a young age he's pretty much extremely frugal in the sense where he likes having money, so he's not exactly going to go and throw a bill at a bunch of studios as a person. He likes the money for having it, in a sense. I mean, maybe he's changed his mind in the last 40-50 years or so, but
well, it might not be, maybe not, considering the rate at which he's very happy to get rid of staff.
Oh yeah, of course.
Seemingly for reasons of optimizing for the now but damaging the later.
Yeah,
that's what it's really felt like to me.
Yep.
But
short-term incentives. Haha.